Hello, my name is James Johnson, and I'll be doing my presentation over delinquents and drugs. I chose this because I feel like in our day-to-day lives we hear about drugs all the time. Our favorite celebrities are doing them, and you hear it in your favorite music. But the fact of the matter is, most these drugs affect impoverished communities and the children in them. And even though only half of the students in high school have used drugs, 70% have engaged in underage drinking. This leads to dropout rates and family issues. Drug abusers are also more likely to become troublemakers. Drugs used by teenagers are marijuana, heroin, alcohol, and cocaine. Alcohol is the drug of choice when it comes to teenagers. 65% of high school seniors have engaged in underage drinking. Alcohol plays a role in murders, suicides, and deaths. Alcohol doesn't get addicting, but is seen as a popular thing to do, which makes it dangerous because children don't understand the consequences of alcohol poisoning and drinking and driving. In fact, drinking and driving and alcohol poisoning are the leading cause to premature death. Cocaine was first used in the medical field, was sought after because of its ability to get rid of depression and fatigue, but was later banned to see how addictive it is and the dangerous side effects. This is the most powerful stimulant of all other drugs. The rush given from the drug is euphoric, but it is very short-lived, which makes it very dangerous because it causes the user to want to use more and more of it. A less potent version of this form of cocaine is called crack. Crack is usually cut with other substances like baking powder, things like that. And this is what is normally in the lower income communities and which is sold. Heroin, the most dangerous drug of them all. Heroin is so dangerous because the high that you get is extremely dangerous. And when you come down from it, you feel extremely drowsy and out of it. But you get used to this high really fast. So you use it more and more and more. And that's when you overdose and die. Marijuana, also known as pot, weed, or Mary Jane. This plant can be smoked or ate, and you get a hallucination effect from it. 43% reported first trying between the ages of 12 and 18. Pot is not physically demanding, but long-term uses can cause an addiction. This drug is recently taken off of the Great List of gateway drugs. Also has been legalized in several states around the country. Gateway drugs. These are drugs that start the path of just abusing other things. So a perfect example is alcohol. Alcohol is a gateway drug. Like I said before, alcohol plays a role in most murders, suicides, and deaths. Well, same thing when you're at a party and you're drinking alcohol, you're more likely to try other drugs. And it becomes a habit off of that where you drink, you do something that isn't good for you. The selling of drugs. Drugs and people that sell drugs go hand in hand. So when you become a drug dealer, it's a win-win. You're able to make money and you're also able to get free drugs. Usually what happens is a adult will give the money or the drugs to the teenager, and then that person will go and sell to his friends. This also leads to gang behavior and just becomes all around dangerous. Stopping kids and drugs. There are several strategies. You have treatment, source control, target dealers, and community and border control. Treatment is simply you're abusing and we try to get you help. Source control is when you go over the border and stop the fields of whatever drug it is you're trying to store. Target dealing is getting drug dealers off of the streets. Community is a joint effort between the community and the police to get rid of drugs in the area. And border control is just stopping drugs from getting in the first place. Peer pressure. Peer pressure plays a huge role. As a child, you want to fit in with everybody. And if everybody's drinking and smoking, well, that's something you would have to do to fit in. Peer pressure is probably the biggest cause of drugs. If your friend smokes, then you're probably going to smoke too. Trouble at home. Being in a home with an abuser or just things aren't going right, turning to drugs would be something that is seen because weed and other things like that seem to get rid of depression, but it is not the case. Sometimes it will actually make things worse. Emotions. People with anxiety, depression, they feel like these drugs will help them get over it, but another thing, just like before, it is not the case. Um, and these people are actually more addiction prone. They'll want to try the different drugs to try to get rid of these feelings, these emotions, and they'll come to find that one drug doesn't work, hop to another one. And then if that one makes them feel a certain way or it gets rid of what they're feeling, then they'll just keep doing it. And that's what causes the addiction. Another thing I feel like stops this is knowledge. So knowledge of what the drug does and what it can mean long term, short term, and it only takes one time of bad cocaine, bad heroin. Well, it's all bad, but just one time it will all take for you to lose your life, and not knowing the side effects and what it could lead to is a major thing. And that is my presentation.